Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Adventures of one obsessed nutrition coach on a mission to create a world where food makes you better. So guys, today is an unusual episode. I don't remember ever doing any of this, but a lot of people I work with or meet in my life are curious about what's in Angela's kitchen, what's in Angela's fridge, what's going on with nutrition and health coach environment. How do I organize my own food environment? And so, guys, right now, for example, I live in Zurich in a shared apartment. I have two roommates, two tech guys who are not into fitness, not into nutrition. They're just regular guys who exercise to support their health, who like cooking their food as well as eating some food products. So nothing special. And as you can imagine, as for a lot of you, it's also true, guys. I can't control everything in my food environment. I always talk about how I believe environment is the key to changing your lifestyle. So if you want to start eating healthier, right, you shouldn't have a lot of snack foods or a lot of foods that you don't want to be eating, reminding you of these foods that you don't want to be eating, because what is in your mind, what you see, what you sometimes smell, what you think about will influence your eating behaviors. I can't control everything in our food environment, but I guess I'm kind of lucky because all of our food, as I think in most households actually, it's either in the fridge or in cupboards, so it's not out in the open. So I don't really think about other people's food that much. And anyhow, let's start with what's in my fridge, and let's actually start with my room. So what's in my bedroom where I sleep and where I do most of my computer work? Well, I can tell you what I don't have here. It's food. I don't have food anywhere near where I sleep or work. And believe it or not, guys, that makes a huge difference if you're trying to improve your eating habits. If you have a bowl with food right by where you work or spend a lot of time, then at some point you're going to be eating that food. And all the studies show from our behavior that if we see something, we're going to eat more of it, sometimes by 20%, sometimes by 30%. But it's still true, it's still a fact that if something is in your proximity, if something that is close to you and you see it constantly, you're gonna eat it, you're gonna eat more of it. So my first advice, leave food in the kitchen, leave food where you're gonna have it, not where you work, where you sleep. And if you want to have a snack, it's always a good idea to get off your ass and go and get it. Some exercise too. Anyhow, but in my room there is always a lot of water. So whenever I get up, whenever I look around, I always see water, and that's how I always remember to drink my water. I always see it, and it reminds me that, okay, I need to drink water. I need to drink my 2 liters a day at least. And so here is water. Here is the glass. So it's really easy to come to this water station that I have on one of my shelves and drink that water. So I have water in my bedroom, mineral water. Here in Switzerland, we have water rich in calcium, and that's what I'm drinking. One of my roommates asked me, why don't you drink tap water? Because it's of great quality in Switzerland. And I don't drink tap water because it's not mineral water. It doesn't have additional benefit of highly absorbable minerals. And since I don't eat a lot of foods rich in calcium, water with calcium is an amazing way to get my calcium, right? So let's move on. In our kitchen, out in the open, we have a lot of actually teas, herbal teas. We have a lot of herbal teas for some reason. We also have a lot of booze bottles for some reason. Guys like to drink wine and some alcohol sometimes, but I'm not into that at all. So for me, this is just bottles. I'm not tempted in any way. So that's what we have. We have some peppermint tea, we have some rooibos tea, we have some ginger tea, we have green tea, we have, what do we have? Yeah, we have all kinds of herbal teas. What else do we have? We have some salts and spices also. Here out, we have some coffee capsules for our coffee machines, and that's basically it. Also, we have a few pieces of wrapped chocolate pieces that I'm not really tempted to eat because I don't eat chocolate unless it's 100%, but it's out here. And ideally, probably if you want to control your eating habits, you don't want to be having a lot of candies around, but it not always might be in your sphere of control. So there is something, that might be tempting out. Now let's open one of my cupboards where I have my personal space to put my things. And so 3 shelves are occupied by stuff. On the bottom shelf, what do we have here? We have here coconut milk, still not open. I like to have it whenever I feel like drinking hot chocolate, and so it's sugar-free with minimum ingredients, just water and coconut flesh. So coconut milk for my hot chocolate whenever I feel like it. And of course I have this cacao for making chocolate, and it's cacao with guarana and just 2 ingredients, no sugar added. So I have my hot chocolate bitter, not sweet. Sometimes I add vanilla and cinnamon, and that's basically it. I have nutritional yeast here. I have cacao beans, raw cacao beans here. I have a lot of chocolate items. I also have cacao nibs that are basically cacao beans made into pieces. So that I have in my cupboard. I eat chocolate every day because it improves circulation. What did I say? I eat chocolate every day because it improves the circulation, blood circulation to your brain, that delivers more nutrients and oxygen, and basically your brain works better, and it also seems to affect our mood in a positive way. So I have a lot of chocolate items. I have coffee powder for not the powder, but ground coffee to make coffee. I make my own coffee in a Italian kind of like device. I don't even know how you call it, but it's it has 2 chambers. At the bottom you put water, and then there is small chamber, actually 3 chambers for coffee powder, and then there is a bigger one where the coffee, once it's boiling, goes. So it's like making coffee from down up, not like dripping. But anyhow, what else do we have? We have different sorts of nuts and seeds, because I'm a huge fan of nuts and seeds, as they're great sources of healthy fats, of fiber, of many minerals, guys. All of nuts are different when it comes to mineral profiles and different fats. So I have pecan nuts now, I have raw, and by the way, all of my nuts and seeds, they are either raw or dry roasted, no oils, no nothing. And sometimes they salted, sometimes not, but mostly raw. So I have pecan nuts, I have Brazil nuts, I have hemp hearts. They're basically insides of hemp seeds. I have sunflower seeds, I have pumpkin seeds, I have coconut shavings for my hot chocolate. That's where I usually add it. I have this cool Mediterranean nut and olive mix. So those are dry roasted and salted cashews, almonds, and olives that were just dried and just salted. Then I have I have another nut mix that has walnuts, hazelnuts, cashews, and almonds, or all raw. I have olive oil here on the bottom shelf with rosemary oil. No, with oregano oil, not rosemary. Then I have canned palm hearts that have almost like no calories, no carbs, no fats, no nothing, but they do have quite a lot of potassium. And potassium is very important electrolyte. So, and getting it from whole foods is the best way, of course. So palm hearts, canned, so they don't require refrigeration. Then I have mussels cooked mussels in a jar that I also eat quite often. Every single week, actually, I try to eat at least 200 grams of it. So mussels, they're really rich in minerals, also have omega-3s, and great source of highly absorbable and easily digestible protein. So I have mussels here. I also have tuna in olive oil, 2 cans, like when I'm lazy to cook or just feeling like eating a little bit more protein, that's what I'm going for. Tuna in olive oil. I drain the olive oil, so I open the can, I pour olive oil out, and then I eat my tuna. I like it in olive oil because it tastes different. Like, it just tastes amazing when it spends some time in olive oil. So I also have a can of sardines in olive oil with skin and bones for omega-3s, calcium, collagen, other electrolytes and minerals like phosphorus, like magnesium, a lot of different minerals and good stuff sardines have. So I have this. So those are actually 2 of my shelves occupied by this stuff, and then one of the shelves is occupied by my supplements. And in my supplement drawer today we have, oh, by the way, I have 100% dark chocolate, a whole bar. So that I also have. I always have chocolate. And then on one of the shelves I have my supplements that are today my multivitamin, naturally sourced multivitamin with greens. Then I have vitamin C additionally. I have L-carnitine that I take every morning, actually 1500 milligrams to help my body to make more energy out of fat. And since I don't eat a lot of red meat at all, where you usually would find L-carnitine amino acid, I have daily complete minerals in addition to my my multivitamin. I take minerals that have potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, manganese, copper, iodine, selenium, and chrome. I don't take them every day, more like every other day. Those supplements. Multivitamin I take more or less every day, my daily minerals every other day, and then L-carnitine almost every day, but I cycle, maybe months on, months off. Then vitamin C, especially when it's flu and like coronavirus kind of a season, so I take vitamin C 3 times a day. Usually this one has a tablet that has 500 milligrams of vitamin C, so I'm taking 250 in the morning without any food. Then I have my meal and I eat my vitamin C in foods like bell peppers and strawberries, and then I take the other half of vitamin C pill, that 250 milligrams of vitamin C in the evening, somewhere around like 5 p.m. Then I have vitamin K2 in a tincture form, or basically some drops, and it's in coconut oil. And yeah, I think it's only coconut oil, or maybe MCT oil too. It's all in German and I don't drink MCT oil from coconut oil, and there is also vitamin E added. And yeah, vitamin K2 actually very important for calcium metabolism and for a lot of other processes that we are not exactly sure of yet, but it is very important. So K2. Then we have magnesium plus B6. So this is highly absorbable magnesium, amino acid chelate with basically it's again German, but it's highly absorbable magnesium with vitamin B6 from a company, Olymp Labs, that is a European company that does a lot of great supplements that a lot of professional athletes use. And then I have natural garlic supplement or extract that I use in this flu season. I take a couple of capsules, as it says on the bottle, 3 times a day, sometimes with food, sometimes without food. That was my cupboard. Then now let's open our fridge, and I have my own shelf in the fridge. That's what you usually do when you have roommates. And what do we have here? Well, we have actually vanilla here on on the side of the fridge. We have a bunch of lemons that I actually squeeze lemons sometimes in my water, sometimes in my teas. I also flavor my cooked food with it, my salads, or I squeeze it on top of my meals once they're done cooking, because vitamin C is destroyed by temperature. So I have a lot of lemons. I have a lot of carrots. Carrots, guys, crunch on carrots. It's a great source of beta carotene and fiber. And if you are having troubles controlling your hunger, then eating a lot of carrots would help you. And raw carrots, by the way, guys, I got this question recently. Raw carrots have more undigestible fiber when carrots are raw, so it's very hard to overeat carbs or sugars on raw carrots. Now when you cook them, a lot of carbohydrates and fiber, they become digestible starch, so that's where you get more sugars, more starches from carrots. But raw carrots is a great way to manage your hunger and feel fuller. Now I have my mushrooms, cremini mushrooms, that are a great source of prebiotic fiber that feeds your gut bacteria. I have here, I'm gonna cook today a mix of broccoli, cauliflower, and romanesco. Romanesco, that is kind of like broccoli or cauliflower, the same family but just different shape. I have strawberries here that I'm gonna be eating today. What else? I have a mix of chocolates that I usually give to my clients and just my friends, anyone who needs a piece of chocolate. Everyone needs a piece of chocolate, right? Dark chocolate, of course. I have this fettuccine, or basically shirataki noodles made of cognac root that has nothing to do with alcohol. It's just a plant that is basically no carbs, no calories, no fat, no protein, just the fiber that also feeds your gut bacteria, and they are made in the form of fettuccine. It's an amazing hack to substitute your pasta, guys, at the same time not getting more calories or carbs or getting fatter or whatever. I like to edit when I feel like cooking something like pasta. And then I have wild salmon that with skin that I'm also going to be cooking today. And of course, I have a bunch of eggs. I have like 7 eggs, and I'm also always trying different ones to see which ones are the firmest, the most orange or yellow, and according to all the science, have the potential to have the most nutrition. So I do have quite a lot of eggs, and I have red onions also in the fridge. Sometimes I store my onions outside, sometimes in the fridge, depending on my mood. I'm still not decided about that part. So, and that's basically it, guys. That was my fridge, my cupboard, and that's kind of like, I guess, my staple set of foods. A lot of water, of course, then those supplements, then canned seafood and some canned vegetables, a lot of nuts, seeds, coffee, dark chocolate. I always have eggs, some fish or organ meats to cook. I have my onions, lemons, berries. I usually have mushrooms and some sort of vegetables that I'm about to cook, like cauliflowers or romanesco, broccoli, or Brussels sprouts. So that is my standard set of foods. What about you guys? So what do you have in your fridge, in your cupboards, in your room? The more you can control your food environment, the more you organize your food environment to help you stick with your habits, the easier it's gonna be for you to maintain those habits. Now, you can notice that I don't have any cookies, ice creams, or anything that I know might trigger me in my weak times to eat those foods that I know don't work for me, and I don't want to have them in my body. But we'll have, those moments of weaknesses when we think, or, some sugar might not be such a bad idea. I haven't had it for a while. All these excuses in our brain, they're always running. But because there is none in my house and I have to go to a store and get it. And usually I have those cravings at the times when I'm, already low on energy, like at night, as we usually do. It's much less likely that I'm gonna get dressed, get into all this, trouble, and go to get my ice cream somewhere and then get back, and then I have to eat it, and then God knows when I'm gonna go to bed. So all this hustle, like I know it's not worth it. So because I don't have that ice cream, or cookies or whatever that might be in my house, then I don't eat it, and I'm not that hungry or tempted to eat, I don't know, to snack at night on carrots or some tuna. I'm not that starving, That's why my eating habits are so great, because there is nothing in my house that tempts me 10 p.m. at night. Anyhow, organize your food environment as much as possible around foods that support the habits that you'd like to maintain for life. That's the message of today, guys. So feel free to share with me what's in your fridge, what's in your cupboards. I'm always curious about those things, and also I might give you a couple of pieces of advice about how you can modify or change that food environment to support the eating habits that you'd like to have. Besides that, guys, share this episode with one person you think might be curious about what's in a fridge of a nutrition and health coach. Share this episode with anyone who would like to improve their eating habits, to change the way they feel and to the way they look, how much health they have, how much energy they have. So share this episode with that one person. I'd be really grateful for you for that. And guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention, for your love, for your feedback, for everything that you're sending my way. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.